You want to know something that most people will never tell you? Success isn't as mysterious as they make it sound. We've been sold this idea that you need a perfect plan, a perfect network, perfect timing, perfect luck, and if you don't have those things, you're out. Game over. But that's a lie that keeps more people stuck than failure ever will. I've seen it too many times. People with so much talent, so much potential, so much heart, and they never get where they could have gone. Not because they couldn't do it, but because they believed the wrong story about what it takes. And I get it. Life has a way of making you think you're not enough. You try something, you fail. You give your all, and it still doesn't work. People laugh, people doubt, and little by little you start believing them. You start believing maybe you're not cut out for something bigger. But let me ask you this. If success really was only for the lucky few, why do we keep seeing stories of people who started with nothing? People who had no money, no connections, no head start, and yet they built something incredible. It's not luck. It's not magic. It's something way simpler and way harder than that. The truth is, there's one thing that makes the difference between the ones who make it and the ones who don't. And it's not what school you went to, what family you came from, or how smart you are. It's something you can decide to do right now without anyone's permission. But here's the problem. Most people never do. See, we live in a world where we give up way too easily. We try for a little while, then we stop. We don't see instant results and we decide it's not for us. We hit one wall and we start looking for a new dream because the old one wasn't meant to be. And every time we do that, we train ourselves to quit faster next time. We make quitting a habit. You might think, yeah, but I've tried before. I've failed before. Good. You're supposed to fail. You're supposed to get knocked down. That's how you find out how badly you really want something. The truth nobody talks about is this. The difference between the people who have what they want and the people who don't isn't that the winners never got knocked down. It's that they decided every single time to stand back up. It's not glamorous, it's not easy, but it's simple. I've met people who had every reason to quit. People who were told no 100 times. People who went broke chasing something. People who were laughed at for years before anyone believed in them. And you know what they all had in common? They kept going anyway. Not because it was fun, not because it was comfortable, but because deep down they believed one thing. I'm not done yet. And that's why this matters to you. Because no matter where you're starting from, no matter how many times you failed, you have that same choice right now. You can keep letting life's punches push you out of the fight, or you can decide you're going to stay in it no matter what. Here's the part most people don't want to hear. Success doesn't happen when you want it to. It doesn't show up on your schedule. It doesn't knock politely and say, hey, it's your turn now. Success is stubborn. It hides behind challenges. It tests your patience. It makes you work longer than you thought you could, push harder than you thought you would, and keep going when you thought you'd already given everything you had. And that's why this one rule changes everything. Because when you live by it, you stop giving up just because it's uncomfortable. You stop letting fear and doubt make your decisions. You stop chasing quick wins and start building something that lasts. This isn't about hype. This isn't about shouting, believe in yourself and hoping magic happens. This is about building a mindset so strong that no matter what happens, you know you can keep moving forward. You can call it grit, you can call it determination, you can call it stubbornness. But when you have it, everything changes. Think about it. Every dream you have, every goal you set, every version of your life you've imagined for yourself, it's all sitting on the other side of this one decision. Will you keep going when it's hard, or will you let the first no send you back to where you started? That's why I'm telling you this now, Because if you're listening to this, I know there's something in you that's not satisfied with where you are. I know there's something bigger you want. And I know there's a part of you that's scared you might not get it. But you can. And it starts with the choice to live by this one rule. So before we go any further, I want you to think about the thing you've been chasing, the thing you maybe have been avoiding, the thing you've wanted so long it scares you. Hold it in your mind. Feel it. Now get ready, because we're about to talk about the one rule that will take you there. Let's be real for a second. It's easy to hear a phrase like never give up and roll your eyes, right? We've all heard it before. It's printed on posters, slapped on coffee mugs, tossed around in speeches. But when you're in the middle of a fight, when you've given everything and you still don't see results, those 3 words don't always feel like enough. But here's why it matters more than anything else. Every single dream you have will test you. Not just once, not just in the beginning, but over and over, at the moments when you least expect it. And if you don't have this rule burned into your mindset, those tests will break you. See, the world is full of people who are almost successful. People who had the right idea, the right skills, the right opportunities, but they stopped one step too soon. They were inches from breaking through, but they couldn't take another no, another failure, another setback. And it's heartbreaking, because that could be you. That could be me. That could be any of us if we let the pain of right now make us forget the possibility of tomorrow. Here's something I've learned watching people win in life. It's not the smartest who always win. It's not the strongest. It's not the ones who start with the most money or the biggest network or the fanciest degrees. It's the ones who are too stubborn to quit. Think about it like this. If you and someone else are chasing the same dream, and you both get rejected, both get knocked down, both face challenges, but they quit and you keep going, you've already won. Not because it's easy, not because you're lucky, but because you refused to give up when they did. Persistence is the great equalizer. It levels the playing field. It doesn't care where you started from. It only cares if you're still standing. And here's the truth. The road to anything worth having is full of moments where you feel like you're not moving forward, like you're wasting your time, like you're stuck in the same place while the rest of the world is passing you by. But here's the thing most people don't realize. Those stuck moments are actually progress. They're the quiet work that's building you into someone who can handle the success when it comes. They're the lessons you don't even know you're learning yet. They're the muscle being built in silence. Let me put it another way. If success came the moment you wanted it, you wouldn't be ready for it. You wouldn't know how to keep it. You wouldn't have the discipline or the grit to carry it when things get tough again, and they will. The struggle is part of the preparation. It's how you earn the right to hold on to what you're chasing. This is why the one rule matters so much, because if you quit, you'll never know how close you were. You'll never see the doors that were about to open, the people who are about to notice you, the moment that could have changed everything. It matters because the world is full of distractions, easy exits, and backup plans that pull you away from the thing you actually want. It's full of people who will tell you it's not realistic, who will project their fears onto you, who will try to convince you to play smaller because it makes them feel more comfortable. And when that happens, if you don't have this rule in your heart, you'll listen to them. You'll start shrinking your dream until it's so small you can't even see it anymore. But if you do have this rule, you'll hear the doubts, feel the pain, face the failures, and still keep moving. You'll develop this unshakable belief that says, I may not know how, I may not know when, but I will get there. And that belief changes everything. It changes how you show up. It changes how you handle rejection. It changes how you see challenges, not as reasons to stop, but as proof that you're on the right path. Because here's another truth. The path to success and the path to failure look exactly the same until the very end. From the outside, they're both full of hard days, long nights, moments of doubt, and endless effort. The only difference is one ends in quitting and the other ends in a breakthrough. That's why this rule matters, because it's the deciding factor between those two outcomes. And if you're wondering right now if it's worth it, I can tell you without hesitation, it is. Because when you finally see the results of all the work, all the pain, all the late nights, you'll realize it wasn't just about the dream. It was about who you became to get there. The strength you didn't know you had, the patience you never thought you could build, the courage you never believed you could find. That's the gift. That's why it matters. And that's why you can't stop here. Living by this rule is not about pretending everything is fine when it isn't. It's not about wearing a fake smile or forcing toxic positivity. It's about choosing to keep going when every part of you wants to stop, and doing it in a way that shapes you, not breaks you. There's a big difference between chasing a dream blindly and chasing it with purpose. Blind chasing is exhausting. It's running in circles, doing the same thing over and over without learning or growing. But living by this rule, that's different. That's persistence mixed with awareness. It's knowing when to adjust, when to listen, when to keep pushing, and doing it without losing sight of the bigger picture. It starts with owning your reasons. If you don't know why something matters to you, it's easy to walk away when it gets hard. But if you're crystal clear on why you want it, not for anyone else, not for status, not for approval, but for you, then you've built your anchor. That anchor will keep you steady when the storms hit. Living by this rule also means refusing to let failure define you. Most people treat failure like a final verdict. Something goes wrong, the plan falls apart, and they think, I guess this just isn't for me. But the truth is, failure is just feedback. It's information. It's the world handing you a clue about what doesn't work so you can figure out what will. The people who live this rule don't see failure as a dead end. They see it as part of the road. They expect it. They respect it. They use it. And because they do, every failure sharpens them instead of shattering them. Another part of living it is understanding that progress often hides in small moments. We love the big wins, the public victories, the before and after stories that make it look like everything changed overnight. But that's not how it works. The real growth happens in quiet hours when no one is watching. It's in the late nights you put in, the mornings you get up when you don't feel like it, the hundreds of small decisions you make to keep moving forward. And here's the thing, you won't always see the results right away. That's where most people get lost. They think, I've been trying for months and nothing is happening. But something is happening. You're building the discipline to show up. You're developing the resilience to handle the next challenge. You're learning skills you didn't have when you started. That's progress. It's just the kind that happens under the surface until one day it bursts into view. Living this rule also means guarding your mind. People will have opinions. They'll tell you what they think you should do, how you should do it, and whether they believe you can. And sometimes they'll project their fears onto you, not because they want to hurt you, but because they can't see themselves doing what you're trying to do. If you let every voice in, you'll lose your own. You've got to know when to filter out the noise and trust your inner compass. That doesn't mean ignoring good advice. It means knowing the difference between guidance that helps you grow and fear disguised as practicality. And most importantly, living by this rule requires patience. Real patience. Not the kind where you wait a couple of weeks and expect everything to fall into place. The kind where you accept that big dreams take big time. That you can't plant a seed and dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You water it, you nurture it, you trust that the work you're putting in is building something you can't see yet. Some days you'll be full of energy. Others you'll feel empty. And that's okay. You're human. Living this rule doesn't mean never slowing down. It means never stopping completely. Rest when you need to. Adjust your path if you must, but keep moving toward the thing that matters. And maybe the most powerful part of living this rule is what it does for your identity. When you keep going after something you believe in, you stop seeing yourself as someone who tries and start seeing yourself as someone who finishes. You start proving to yourself that you can be trusted to follow through, and that trust changes the way you see everything else in life. Because once you've taught yourself that you can push through doubt, fear, and rejection for one dream, you can do it for anything. That's why this rule isn't just about one goal, it's about every goal you'll ever have. Living this isn't flashy. It's not always exciting. Sometimes it's hard and messy and uncomfortable. But it's also the reason why one day you'll look back and realize you didn't just chase your dream. You became the kind of person who makes dreams happen. And that changes everything. Here's the part nobody likes to talk about: the messy middle. It's that stage where the excitement you had at the start starts to fade, but the results you've been working for aren't here yet. That's when the voice in your head gets loud. The one that whispers, maybe this isn't working. Maybe this isn't worth it. Maybe you're just not cut out for this. And trust me, that voice shows up for everyone. It doesn't care if you're brand new to the game or if you've been at it for years. It doesn't care if you're chasing a business, a skill, a healthier life, or a personal goal. It will try to convince you to step back, to slow down, to be realistic. But here's the thing. The moment it gets hard is exactly the moment you need to lean in. Not later, not after you feel better, right then. Why? Because the hardest part of the journey is the point where
right now. Because here's the truth. There is no perfect time. There's no magical green light that suddenly appears telling you, okay, now you're ready. You will never have every answer, every skill, every guarantee before you start. And if you wait for all of that, you'll be waiting forever. The people who win in life aren't the ones who wait. They're the ones who begin. They make the move, even if they're scared. They try, even when they're not sure how it's going to turn out. And they keep going, even when it gets messy. You've been carrying a dream. Maybe you've been keeping it quiet. Maybe you've been telling yourself you'll get to it one day. But deep down, you already know that one day doesn't come unless you make it today. And that's why this rule matters so much. Because it forces you to commit to the idea that quitting is not your story. It forces you to see that success isn't a lucky break. It's a decision you keep making over and over until you get there. Right now, you have two choices. You can keep living the way you've been living, doing the things you've always done and getting the same results. Or you can decide that today is the day you draw a line and say, I'm in this for real. Nobody is going to hand you your dream. Nobody is going to call you up and say, congratulations, your life is about to change. That's not how it works. You have to step into it. You have to show up for yourself when nobody else is watching. You have to be willing to keep moving when no one's clapping for you yet. And I know, it's hard. It's frustrating. It's lonely sometimes. But you know what's harder? Living with the regret of knowing you could have gone further but chose to stop. That feeling will stick with you far longer than the discomfort of pushing forward right now. Here's the thing. You don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to do it consistently. You don't have to know the whole path. You just have to take the next step, and then another, and another, until one day you look back and realize you've built something that started from nothing. So this is your move, your moment to choose the version of yourself you want to be, the one who dreams and stops, or the one who dreams and finishes. I'll be real with you. Living this way is not always pretty. There will be setbacks. There will be rejection. There will be times you'll wonder if it's worth it. But every single person you ever admired, Every success story you've ever been inspired by has gone through the exact same thing. The only difference, they didn't stop, and neither should you. So here's what I want you to do. If this message has lit something inside you, don't let it fade. Act on it. Today, not tomorrow, not after the weekend, not when you feel ready. Today. Do something, anything that moves you closer to your goal. Send that email. Start that plan. Learn that skill. Take that first step you've been putting off. Because once you do, you'll feel it. That shift inside where you realize you're not just talking about your dream anymore, you're actually living it. And while you're doing that, make this a place you come back to for fuel. This channel isn't just about motivation, it's about building a mindset that keeps you going when motivation fades. It's about surrounding yourself with people who are moving forward, just like you. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Turn on notifications so you never miss the next video. Not because I'm chasing numbers, but because I know what happens when you have a constant reminder that you're not in this alone. You'll need that. On the hard days, on the slow days, on the days you doubt yourself, you'll need a voice in your ear saying, "Get back up, keep going, you're not done yet." Leave a comment and tell me your dream, your goal, your fight. Write it down, not for me, but for you. Put it into words so you can't hide from it anymore. Declare it, claim it. That's the first step to making it real. And remember this, you don't need permission. You don't need the perfect plan. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to start. And once you start, you need to keep going. That's it. That's the rule. So, your move. What's it going to be? Are you going to wait for someday? Or are you going to look back 1 year from now, proud that you made today the day you stopped waiting and started building? The choice is yours. Always has been. Now go.